Been on the court since last Tuesday against Dan River, and it was a loss to the Dan River Wildcats. Bob and I will surely discuss that. If you remember in that one, folks, the Colonels played very well in the first half. They trailed by 2 at the halftime break, and then the third quarter was all Wildcats. Fourth quarter was too. Colonels end up losing by 20+. And some storylines between the Chatham Cavaliers. Last time Altavista took on these Cavaliers, it was a 1-point victory for the Colonels. Nelson Dews had to hit a running jump shot with about 17 seconds left, and the Colonels made a nice defensive stand to preserve the victory. We'll talk about that, Subway, and so much more. A lot here to come on the pregame show, and we'll hear from the head coach, Troy Harris. He'll discuss all those topics and a few more as well. It's going to be a fun ride. Some Friday night hoops. Nice to get back out on the hardwood after seeing a lot of snow in the last week. Hope you'll stick around and join us. It's the Cavaliers, it's the Colonels, and you've got yourself a ringside seat on 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoons, so you can buy anytime, any day, 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Salmon with Best Bet Motor Sales. Home of your 60-second guaranteed credit approval. We have 2 locations to serve you. Our first location is 29 South, 5 minutes past the airport, and location number 2 is 29 North, right in Amherst. We have over 75 clean, low mileage, late model, pre-owned vehicles for you to choose from, low down payments, low monthly payments, and warranty on all vehicles. So don't forget, guaranteed credit approval. Best Bet Motor Sales.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns after a long layoff. We're at Altavista High School. It's the Chatham Cavaliers in town taking on the Altavista Colonels, talking once again with the head coach, Troy Harris. Last time we saw you guys, a week and a half or so ago, it was a loss down in Ringgold to the Dan River Wildcats. It was a 2-point game at halftime. You guys were playing pretty well, and then they exploded in the third quarter. As you've mentioned on these interviews here, the third quarter has sort of been a double-edged sword for you guys. A lot of times you pull away, but there's been a few games where the other team has pulled away. What happened there in the third?
I think they turned the horses loose on us. They were really trying to play a slow-down half-court game against us in the first half, and we played probably one of the best defensive halves we played all year. Holding that group to 25 points is probably something they hadn't had done to them all year. And then in the third quarter, they threw the half-court game away, and every rebound they got, it was just gone. They were off to the races, 2-on-1s. They finished, we'd foul them, then we'd come down and shoot a bad shot or not the best shot, and then they'd be gone again and get another 2 points, and it got away from us pretty quickly.
Did you learn some valuable lessons there about how you can stop that kind of thing from happening next time?
Yeah, I think I was pretty proud of the guys, how we played in the first half, so they know they can at least compete with those guys, and we can beat them next time when they come up here. But I think the second half was really an eye-opener, how we have to really pay attention about getting back and stopping the ball in transition if we want a chance to stay in a game with those guys.
Well, you were going to have a week off anyway because it was your time for the bye to come around the district schedule, but you had more than that, and you lost some practice time because of the snow. Talk about the schedule and what the arrangements you guys made were to get the gang in here to practice.
Yeah, we were going to have Friday off anyway, so we only missed one game out of the whole deal, where I think most everybody else missed a Friday game and probably missed the Tuesday night as well. We didn't get to practice Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday's obviously off, but we were in here Monday. No, we didn't practice Monday. We were in here Tuesday and today. We finally got in here and got going. We were actually pretty good. Sucking air a little bit yesterday, just getting our legs back under us, but we had 2 really good days of practice getting ready for Chatham to come in here on Friday.
So all things considered, you're pretty pleased about how it went. And, you know, it's everybody else was in the same boat. I mean, nobody in the state of Virginia missed the snow. So it's not like you guys fell behind. You feel like you like where your team's at heading into this game tonight?
Yeah, we tell them we're still going to communicate with you every day. So even if we don't see them, we still talk to every guy at least once per day, telling them, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what you need to be thinking about. So they don't get away from basketball completely. We're still in their ear. And, we had 2 good practices, you know, getting after it pretty good in there, defending and doing our stuff. And, yeah, pretty pleased about how it went the past 2 days.
Well, tell us about the Chatham Cavaliers. Last time down in Chatham, it was a 1-point victory for you guys. I believe that was your first game back after a break then over the Christmas break. Maybe a little bit of rust that day. Hopefully not as much rust here tonight.
Yeah, I hope not. That was a perplexing game for us because we played exactly how they wanted to do. I really do feel that we are the better basketball team with the better basketball players, but we played exactly how they wanted to play. If they had a textbook how they wanted the game to go, we went right by it and played exactly how they wanted. They want to push the tempo. They want it to be ugly. They want to force a lot of turnovers, and we did all of those things. We played too fast. We took bad shots. I think we turned it over 20 times, which is atrocious if you're watching high school basketball. Watched it on film this morning, and I was pretty disappointed in how we played. So we talked about it in there a lot today, went over some stuff, and hopefully we've cleaned that up, and we'll play Altavista basketball, and Chatham will have to play with us a little bit.
Great stuff, Coach. Best of luck tonight. We'll see you guys in about 15 minutes for the tip-off between the Colonels and the Cavaliers on 105.5 KD Country.
This is 100% convenient mobile banking with local First National Bank.
With our First Snap mobile app, you can securely check balances, make deposits, pay bills, transfer money, and much more.
It's easy to use, and we even have a video demo on our website at firstnatbk.com.
And it's free, so search First Snap mobile app and download it for free today.
Remember, banking from anywhere, anytime will help you bring home more bacon.
First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road, Lynchburg.
Man, that house salad looks good.
Dude, it's so good.
How about one bite for the road?
No.
Sharing is caring.
No. You can't have any of my salad, bro.
Wait, I got it right here. I got $20 in a dream, yeah.
Well, that's a hit right there, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
The house salad. Grilled chicken atop mixed greens, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, cheddar and jack cheeses, and fried onions. Served with Texas toast. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
This broadcast is brought to you by the KD Country Sports Club.
It's Chef's Drive-In, keeping drive-ins alive with hometown pride and service.
One Stop Mart, where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
El Cerrito Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time.
Altavista Medical and Oncology Massage Therapy at Broad Street can relieve your pain.
Vista Food. Altavista, your hometown grocery with the freshest produce and the best meats.
McDonald's in Altavista, committed to the community and now serving breakfast all day.
KD Country Basketball Broadcast, brought to you by members of the Altavista Sports Club.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
That'll pep you up a little bit right there when you hear the old "You're the best" from Karate Kid. Bob Alvis still gathering intelligence out there somewhere, so we're going to find out where he's at. We'll get him courtside here. And we are down on the floor at Altavista High School tonight, enjoying the view as the Chatham Cavaliers are in town to take on the Altavista Colonels. Colonels come into this one at 12-3. Most recent game, as we mentioned, was against Dan River. It was a 70-45 loss to the Dan River Wildcats in a game, as I mentioned, if you heard the opening of the Subway pregame show, was very close at halftime. Colonels trailed by 2 at the end of the first half and felt pretty good about where they were at as far as the game standing and their process and the way they were playing basketball. But all of a sudden, Dan River, as you heard Coach Harris say, they just let the horses out of the barn. They began to run a little bit. They began to get up-tempo. And Dan River really started knocking down some shots, too. There were some things that the Colonels just couldn't stop. There were some things that they tried to stop, and it just didn't work out. Either way, I think it was a learning experience for Altavista. And it's always nice to test yourself against very good competition. Certainly the Dan River Wildcats are that. They've been one of the best basketball teams in the state, really at any level, but particularly at their 2A level for quite some time now. Tonight's opponent, another Pittsylvania County team, just a little further north up 29, the Chatham Cavaliers. Their head coach is in his first year, just like Troy Harris is for the Colonels. That's Mr. Charles Warren. And Coach Warren has a talented squad. It's a Chatham team that has struggled for victories at times this year, but as we saw in the first matchup with the Colonels, very talented, very capable. They came within really a shot, 1 point, 1 possession away from defeating the Colonels down in tight squeeze about 3 weeks ago. This is the Subway pregame show. My name is Kyle Haney. Bob Alvis will return to the proceedings, or perhaps just present himself to the proceedings right after this when you come back to the Subway pregame show. It's Chatham, it's Altavista, it's high school basketball. Back after a winter weather layoff. You're going to hear it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellas Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellas Chevrolet in Altavista.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Never too early for some shout-outs here in the Subway pregame show, Mr. Alvis. Shout-out to my great friend Trey in Subway, who makes a mean flat tease. I'll tell you that, bro. Yeah, I think he considers me a good point. He considers me a friend.
Solid customer.
Yeah, there you go. It's just business. No, Trey makes a mean flat teaser, and it is Flat Teaser Friday, so why not get a couple of those when you stop by Subway tonight? He's at the Main Street location. They're also pumping out the quality food at the Walmart location on Clarion Road, and further up the road on Route 29 inside Foster Fuels. You always eat fresh at Subway. We'll send out a shout-out to our tag team partner and colleague, Oscar Briggs, who is tuned in right now, Mr. Alvis, and he pointed out that Bob Alvis gathering intelligence is a bit of an oxymoron. I'll just leave it at that if I have to explain.
I got him on Tuesday, so
okay.
He'll get his.
That's right. We're going to switch the lineup up. We're very versatile. We can bring in guys out of the bullpen. We can start different guys. We got middle relievers. We got closers, and we've seen a few of those guys. We've seen Dave Haney take the airwaves. Ty Gafford's been on the airwaves. it takes a village, as Bob Alvis would say.
Yeah, and now you're talking, when you say Dave Haney, you're talking about legends. Ty Gafford as well.
Yeah.
Different kind of legends. Dave, legend in broadcasting. Ty, legend in coaching. Oscar and I, probably legends in our own mind. But that's for neither here nor there, you know.
It's got to start somewhere, right?
You mentioned earlier Altavista not playing since last Tuesday due to some weather issues. They weren't going to have a 2-game week anyway, I believe. It was just a 1-game against Nelson that they missed.
Right.
But you have sat on a bad taste for over 7 days now. And, you know, with practices being altered here and there, with everybody not getting back into school promptly, you have to wonder how Coach Harris's ball club will come out tonight against a Chatham squad that pushed them to the limits. I heard you talking about Nellie Dews with that pseudo buzzer beater down there. Who do you think remembers that game more? I favor Chatham, remembering how that felt more than Altavista does.
Oh, I certainly agree with you on that, Mr. Alvis. That's a very good observation. I think the Cavaliers probably have a lot to play for, and they probably feel like they maybe let Altavista off the hook down there. JV Colonel's got a win over Chatham tonight in the opening act. Back to your point, though, Mr. Alvis, I will also say both of these teams have at times had issues with the jump shot, and I heard Mateo Malbach speaking about, you know, when you miss that time in the gym, sometimes the jump shot's the first thing to go away. That'll be interesting to watch for tonight. Do the Cavaliers and the Colonels both try to get it in close, maybe work for more layups, more putbacks, more second chance opportunities? That certainly remains to be seen, although I do feel like somebody's going to splash down from 3 and hit some jump shots tonight, possibly from long distance.
Yeah, and one thing that normally has stayed consistent for Altavista over many moons now has been the defense. And if you can play the tough, hard-nosed defense right away, you know, shots may fall, shots may not, even with so-so defense. But with the Colonels playing lockdown, shots get harder to even take. The defense really is where it starts with the Altavista Colonels. They've been buying into that defensive philosophy all year, and I've said it a few times. I'll say it again. I think with a lot of teams, when the coach says, hey, guys, we're defense, 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 it goes in one ear and out the other. 17-year-olds say, all right, yeah, coach, we'll play a little bit of defense. But these Colonels, they're believing it, they're living it, and it's a big reason for their success this year. Bob Alvis and I will try and have some access. We'll give you access to our success. Got to spend it somehow. I was going to mention about our 2 wonderful sound engineers back at home base, Rachel and Eleanor, trying to make us sound as best as possible. And when you're in the gym in Altavista, you always get to see celebrities. Former assistant coach Jerry Wright stopping by to shake our hands. The pep band is here, Bob. The cheerleaders are here. There's a great energy in the gym. I think basketball fans are happy to see some round ball action after seeing snowball action for the better part of a week. Introductions getting ready to start, so we'll keep it here for just one moment, and then we'll send it away for the proceedings, the national anthem and whatnot. And we'll get to catch the light show when we come back, of course. I will remind you once again, this is the Subway pregame show. You always eat fresh at 3 great locations in Altavista. Main Street in Walmart on Clarion Road, and then further up the road inside Foster Fuels on Route 29. A shout-out to our dear friend up in Baltimore, Maryland tonight, Robert Duff. Not vacationing, working up there, getting some work done up in Baltimore in the inner harbor. Pardon me, I'm sure he's having some fun up there, though, as well. And he's tuned in to hear some Colonels hoops via the TuneIn app or possibly at kdcountry.com. Either way, it's a great option to have. We'll be hearing some updates from the Lady Colonels affair down in Chatham. They're going for number 8 in a row, Mr. Alvis. It is time for the Subway pregame show to step aside because it's national anthem time here. Colonels and Cavs right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Hello, this is Jerry Motley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. It's asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Start your business on a winning note with an Altavista revolving loan. It's an opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Connect with Alta Vista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis II at Alta Vista Town Hall. Make your move today. The Alta Vista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family, see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we return and the lights go out. The light show getting started here at Alta Vista High School. That means it's pregame introduction time for the Colonels. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Bob Alvis. I'm going to get my act together a little bit here, Bob. I've stumbled and fumbled and even rumbled a little bit too, but I think I'm going to pick it up. We just need time to get loose. It's been a while since we've been on the air, you know, with the snow and whatnot. I should have practiced up while we were snowed in, but I didn't.
Well, I had to shovel you out. I mean, you were buried underneath of it for a couple days, and luckily you did make it.
Yep.
But let's talk about the Chatham Cavaliers, Kyle, coached by Charles Warren, the former Dan River alum. They are going to start number 12, Nyshawn Red. He is a senior. Number 24, Tyler Clark, the junior. 30, Shaman Barley, he is a sophomore. Number 32, Connor Barnett, he is a senior. And Chris Hodnett, he'll wear number 34, and he is a junior. Alta Vista on the other side will go with number 2, Nelson Dews, a 5'11 senior guard. Mateo Malbeck, a 5'10 junior guard. Daquan Poindexter, a 6-foot junior guard. Number 15, Lawrence Galliard, the 6'2 for forward. And number 30, Josh McClure, a 6'3 senior, junior forward. Excuse me. It seems like Josh has been around so long.
Yeah.
That we have, he's a fifth year almost, but he's only a junior. Was on this team as a freshman, right? And that's a big honor for an Alta Vista guy.
Sure is. Josh was on this team as a freshman, and before that, his brother Jake the Snake, right, Jacob McClure, was on the team. So sometimes that makes it hard to differentiate. They kind of run together, and certainly it does feel like just yesterday that we were watching brother Jake. I don't see him in the stands, so I have a feeling he's probably tuned in.
And I mentioned
somewhere.
Charles Warren. I got to mention Alta Vista's brilliant mind behind the bench, Mr. Troy Harris, assisted by Philip Tinsley, DeMichael Lee, Ryan Mitchell, and the super statistician, Mr. Greg Pribble.
Greg Pribble always does a great job keeping us informed and keeping us posted on the stats. And it is a coaching staff that I know Coach Harris is very proud about. He knows that they work hard. They're a valuable asset to him. And they've been around a lot. You know, they're all pretty much Alta Vista guys. Phil Tinsley's really sort of the new man out there, but even he's been around for a couple years now, though. Teams are assembling at jump circle.
Colonels will go in the home white tonight, orange stripes down the side. Most of the guys have on orange shoes and reddish to orange socks. Numeral in the back is in black, outlined in a light orange. Chatham is wearing their black uniforms tonight. Chatham written on the front in red, outlined in white. Numeral is centered beneath, and a white stripe up along the side of the shorts. And the official will toss it up as Lawrence Galliard is going to jump against Clark.
Galliard wins the tip, and it's in the front court very quickly. Daquan Poindexter to the rack from the left side. Book it early. 2-0 lead for the Alta Vista Colonels. Boy, Bob, if this pace keeps up, you're going to be doing a lot of play-by-play. We'll mix and match some again. It's going to be like Steamboat Flair. What's the finish? You know,
we're on the floor tonight, so that's a different perspective for us.
Yeah, a little bit. Cavaliers scoring on the right-hand bucket, going north to south from Bob and I's perspective. They're in the road black jerseys, as Bob said. Mateo Malbeck guarding Tyler Clark, who has the basketball. He'll move left around a Buzetta screen. Pardon me, that's Connor Barnett. Now it's over to Nyshawn Red. Red's going to circle the D. Right-hand dribble moving to his right. Chest pass over to Shimon Barley. Barley thinking about a three. Back to Red. Red head fakes Poindexter. Jump pass back to Barley. Barley floater. Barely nicked the front of the iron, and it's rebounded right under the hoop by Lawrence Galliard. Colonel's going the other way quickly.
Good defense by the Colonels. I think the Cavs would have liked to have had a bit of a quicker shot right there, but the Colonels' defense along the perimeter preventing that.
Zone defense early for the Chatham Cavaliers, and there's a throwaway by Altavista. Galliard was looking to send it to the right wing to Nelson Dews, and the pass was a little bit errant. 6:53 left to play in the English is your complete home center first quarter. It's a 2-0 Altavista lead.
And Troy Harris, normally out-experienced on the other side, as a lot of head coaches have been there more than 1 year. Charles Warren in the same boat, a rookie head coach, coaching in the same county where he played. He played at Dan River.
Very familiar with these guys. Three-pointer on the way from Nyshawn Red is good, just left of center. Early lead for the Chatham Cavaliers. 3-2, 6.5 left to play in the first. Colonel's back on offense. Nelson Dews thinks about a three from the right wing. Attacking against this zone defense from the Chatham Cavaliers. It's Daquan Poindexter on the left sideline. Long cross-court pass to Nelson Dews. Good ball movement here. Josh McClure's going to try a three. Side of the iron, no good. Rebounded away by the Chatham Cavaliers.
And we've seen rivalries in the past. The Colonels have had a rivalry with pretty much everybody in Dogwood at one point or another, and Chatham was really, really solid there when Jeff Monroe had them, and it's been a great rivalry over the years.
Nice passing there. Nelson Dews sent it long to the baseline, and Mateo Malbeck. Malbeck skied up, retrieved it, and before he hit the ground, left it off for Daquan Poindexter, who finished. Daquan's got all four. It's a 4-3 Altavista lead. Colonel's back on defense in the man-to-man. Three-pointer up from Bartley is good. Pardon me, it's a long two, but it still gives the Cavaliers the lead back 5-4.
Right in the face of Lawrence Galliard, too, Kyle. I mean, Galliard had that defended to a T.
And Galliard is one of the best defenders on the ball club, so if you can dot one in his eye, that means you've done something pretty impressive. McClure works around a Galliard screen. Layup up, won't go in, but Galliard with the tip in for two, 6-5. Back and forth basketball early here in the first quarter between the Colonels and the Cavs. Altavista on top by one with 5:13 left to play in the first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, the Cavaliers have got to tighten up that defense. I mean, McClure missed the shot, but what a great look as he just sliced in between them from the perimeter and all the way to the rack.
And Galliard never stopped running either, really just trailed right behind Josh McClure. Cavs lost the handle for a moment. Daquan Poindexter has a steal. Coming down the left side, fakes the pass, fires the shot up. Coach Harris can't believe there wasn't a foul. Poindexter kept playing through the contact and made the lay-in. 8-5. Colonels have their biggest lead of the game at 3.
Add me to that number. It looked like an and one from this angle, but the officials have a different angle than we do. Three-pointer by the Cavs, hoisted up off the back of the glass, no good. Nelson Dews with the rebound, and he wants to head north.
Seamless transition there, Bobby. Very good by you. 4:20 left to play. Colonels lost the ball out of bounds. It was a high pass from Malbeck looking for Poindexter on the left sideline. Substitute coming in the game is Philip Buzetta. He checks in for the Cavaliers, who trail 8-5.
It's like a bike or a horse. I mean, I don't do this as much anymore, but you learn how to ride that thing and you just get right back on.
You don't forget. You may get a little bit rusty, but you never truly forget. Nyshawn Red looks inside the defense. He'll drive to his left. One-hand pass down low to Hodnett. Hodnett lost the handle. Stripped away. Daquan Poindexter comes away with the steal. Nelly bringing it up right sideline. Baseline, it goes to Mateo Malbeck. Ooh, nice no-look pass from Nelson Dews back to Mateo. And Mateo Malbeck's pass got poked away in the air. Recovered on the loose ball by the Chatham Cavaliers. This is Barley. Barley with a little head fake. He wanted to pass it off on a jump, and he lost it. Turnovers both ways. Colonel scrambling on offense. Modified fast break. Nelson Dews took some contact, shouldered it up to the rim, and it goes down for 2. 10-5. Colonel's on top by 5.
We've played over half the first quarter and not one whistle to stop action for a violation so far.
They're letting them play, boys. They're letting them play.
McClure with the board.
It's like a game at the Y out there. Might as well take advantage, right? Left corner, it goes to Daquan Poindexter. Colonels are in the front court on offense. They lead by 5 with 3:19 left to play in the first.
And with this game tonight, Kyle, we're starting to see the second trip around as Chatham comes away with the steal. Cavaliers had it, but Galliard picks it back up. He's in big trouble, and now there's our first foul of the evening. Shimon Barley will be the recipient. But this is now everybody is seeing you pretty much at this point. I mean, it's Charles Warren doesn't have to go for film; he can go to the old memory bank of what happened down in Chatham.
And the great part about that is if you've scouted a team a couple times, well, then all of a sudden this is your second or third look at somebody. So you should become that much more knowledgeable of their offensive and defensive tendencies. Colonels basketball with 3 minutes even to play in the first quarter. They lead by 5. Nelson Dews catch and shoot three is good. Caught this untrained broadcaster by surprise. It's a 13-5 lead, courtesy of Nelson Dews on the long bomb. Chancellor Mormon in the ball game now for the Altavista Colonels. Also Jamal Thornhill. This is Stevie Johnson, who's checked in the ball game for the Chatham Cavaliers. He gives it up to Nyshawn Red. This left of center, Red looking for somewhere to go. Man-to-man defense from the Colonels. Mormon is guarding Red. Now it's over to Tyler Clark. Clark's got great hair. He's got the Odell Beckham, but it's standing way up. Chatham is going to take a timeout to discuss. We'll take it with them. 13-5. 30-second timeout as the Colonels lead with just under 2.5 to play in the first quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant, so we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today. El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
13-5, Altavista on top after a Chatham Cavalier timeout. Maybe we'll discuss what Charles Warren had to say in that timeout and what prompted him to take it. Probably the fact that it's nearly a double-digit lead. There's a nice floating jump shot from 7 feet in the middle of the lane. Converted.
I believe that was Red.
That was Nyshawn Red, in fact, on the jumper. 13-7. That cuts into the Colonel lead a bit. So maybe a worthwhile timeout from head coach Charles Warren. Pressure zone defense from Chatham. Mateo Malback nearly lost him the steal, and he did lose it when he tried to pass. It got bounced off the backboard and ended up in Philip Buzetta's hands. Cavaliers going the other way as Tyler Clark walks it across the timeline. 1:35 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 13-7 Colonel lead.
And, in the games I've been to, that timeout strategy has worked for the other team more often than not when they've called it. I don't know if it's Altavista's come a little lethargic out of the timeout or if the opposition just really adjusted.
Yeah, good question. I would agree with you, though. It seems like opposing coaches have a pretty high batting average when it comes to the timeouts working out. Nyshawn Red, left wing three, is good. Pardon me, they're calling it a long
Johnson.
That was Stevie Johnson?
The two, yep.
Stevie Johnson with the long two. So I'm 0 for 2 on that one. I had the wrong player, and I thought it was a 3. Nice bounce pass by McClure. Down low. Finds Chancellor Mormon for 2 on the right side of the hoop. Good job by Mormon to convert in traffic. 15-9. Colonel stretched the lead back out. 50 seconds left to play on the first. Well, yeah.
And you knew how much it was worth.
Oh, I love it. This, in fact, is Tyler Clark. I'm sure of it this time. Coming down the right side of the lane, puts up a contested shot. Ooh, won't go. Hung up on the rim for a while.
It's going to be a 2-shot foul, whoever it is on. It's harder to see the fouls for me from down here, so I'm going to have to maybe plead a little.
You get the
slow.
players right, and I'll get the fouls right. The foul was the first one on Chancellor Mormon.
You
first
cheated.
one on the Colonels as a team.
You waited for the board. I did the anticipation.
I had an idea that was on Mormon for sure. First free throw up and good from Tyler Clark. And it gives me a chance to tell you about your Atrium Vinyl Window headquarters. That's English's, your complete home center. Those Atrium Vinyl windows will pay for themselves, as Bob Alvis pointed out last time. Save you so much money on your heating and cooling costs. Second free throw coming up from Tyler Clark.
Winner far
Cavaliers.
From over.
Oh, far from over. Far from over. First free throw, no good, short. Cameron Hughes trying to save it back in bounds. It was a real battle for it. Buzetta was giving him pressure from the backside. Hughes had nice position, boxed out well, but just could not retrieve the basketball and pull it into his grasp. Buzetta will inbound on the baseline for the Cavaliers as they'll get an extra possession. 32 seconds left to play in the first. Maybe extra possessions, not exactly the right term, but we'll go with it. Nyshawn Red over to Stevie Johnson. Johnson moving softly to his right, just hands it off to Tyler Clark. Good three-guard combo there for the Cavaliers. Very quick, very active. This is Tyler Clark now working against Chancellor Mormon. Never got inside the three-point line and had to dish it off to Nyshawn Red. Red, waist-high right-hand dribble. We're down to 9 seconds.
Defense good by the Colonels right now, real good.
Oh, NBA range three is up and won't fall. Jacob Adams on the rebound. He was going to try the football pass to the rim, and it got partially blocked, and that will end the first quarter. 15-10. Colonels on top by 5. Second quarter on the way when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family to see your friends. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the friendly confines of Altavista High School, I am Bob Alvis. My partner in crime tonight is Mr. Kyle Haney. Kyle, Cavaliers trail 15-10, and we just proved right there at the end the Colonels' good defense stifling them to where you can't get a good shot off if you're just going to kind of wait for something to develop, because with the Colonels' defense, normally it doesn't develop.
Sure, Cavaliers started that possession around the 25-second mark, and Altavista, really good defense. They never let Chatham get inside the three-point line, Bobby, and denied them a buzzer-beating opportunity.
Got some shout-outs that we'll hit on as the night progresses.
Collect a few, too.
And the Cavaliers are now in the front court. Basketball belongs to number 24, Tyler Clark, as Kyle just throws me right to the Wolves, and Matt Galden comes in with the basketball. Galden tried to go to Bezzetta, dropped at his knees, picked up by Altavista. The Colonels had it, and Adams got maybe going a little too fast, and now Chatham back with it. Stevie Johnson with the basketball, between the legs dribble. Johnson to the free throw line in front, had it blocked by Cameron Hughes. Here come the Colonels the other way, led by Mormon, and Mormon will go up and get fouled, and it'll be 2 shots for the 5'11 junior, Chancellor Mormon.
This is a quick lineup on the floor right now for the Colonels, Bob. It's Cameron Hughes, Jacob Adams, Daquan Poindexter, Chancellor Mormon, and Lawrence Galliard. And I don't know if it's the quickest lineup they can put out there. I mean, Mateo Malbach's on the bench right now, and he's very speedy. But this is a lineup that can get out and run, and I think you saw it a couple times there. They wanted to push that tempo a little bit and try and get some layups out of the fast break. Mormon cans the first free throw, 16-10, Colonels on top.
Mormon only has shot 2 on the year.
Now he shot
prior
3,
to
though.
this one.
He's 3 for 3. Oh, gosh, somebody knock on wood or something. He made it. Mormon just stroked it right in there. Hey, there's no such thing as a broadcaster's jinx, Bob. We're just reporting the facts. Chancellor Mormon is perfect on the year from the free throw line at 4 for 4.
17-10, Colonels with the 7-point margin in their favor. Chatham will hoist a long 3. It's Red, high off the glass, no good, but tapped out by Galden. Now Bezzetta with the long jumper, no good. Bezzetta brings it back down. 3-pointer up by the Cavs again, no good. Now rebounded by Mormon. Mormon in trouble, though. Triple teamed, and Mormon lost it. Now picked up by the Cavaliers, and Chatham has numbers. They'll kick it back. Stevie Johnson, 2 feet inside the 3-point arc, no good. Rebounded by Galliard, and Galliard now in a bad way, too. Galliard tripled. Now Galliard lobbed it out over to Jacob Adams. Adams is across the timeline. Adams all the way down, and they're going to call it at the free throw line. This will be an on-the-floor foul, as Jacob Adams will be the recipient of the foul, but no shots. Matt Galden is the
I think he
victim,
is, or the fouler.
Yes,
the fouler.
I don't think that's really true. Webster, I don't think, has that in the
he's the perfect
dictionary. Yeah, there you go.
It is on the floor. You're right. One referee looked like he wanted to set up for the free throws. I thought maybe Jake was in the act of shooting. Lob play. Oh, and Lawrence Galliard with some two-handed thunder on the alley-oop pass. Inbound play. Vintage Colonels basketball there as Mateo Malbach just throws it right to the front of the rim. Galliard rises up and flushes it home.
Chatham shot blocked, and they're going to say that Malbach
didn't reestablish himself inbounds. He was out of bounds, and he jumped across the line to grab the basketball there. It was a nice block from McClure, but Mateo certainly did have a foot out of bounds.
Cavaliers looking to get their first points here in quarter 2. They trail by 9 with 6:27 to go. Red skips it out. Chatham getting very wild with the passing right now, as Tyler Clark will get it and control it. He's guarded by Mateo Malbec.
Colonels love to score on those inbound play, Bob, and sometimes they love to score big with the
high arcing three. Missed the opposite side. Nelson Dews with the rebound. And that's not a new thing either. They've done that for many, many moons.
Hey, why do you think I said vintage Colonels?
Jump ball. And the possession arrow will stay with Altavista. 6:02 remaining. Want to send a shout-out to my friend Patricia Thomas listening. Former neighbor of mine. We
Way to go, Patricia.
Moved on to bigger and better things. She even said you're sounding good tonight.
Ooh.
So
she on the right game?
She's on the right game. Galliard with the basketball out of the three-point line. Not a normal place for him. He gets it over to Nelson Dews. Dews over to Poindexter, and now back to Galliard. Colonels are versatile, though, to where the bigs can come out and play behind the perimeter if need be.
And they'll spread everybody out around the three-point ring, too, with that five-out motion offense. It's certainly been effective for the Colonels all year. Now you see Galliard posting up a bit.
McClure bounces it right into him. Galliard puts it on the floor with one dribble, and they're probably going to call it travel. They did. Galliard might have thought he had some pressure on the backside that maybe forced that travel, but they'll say the travel came before any foul.
5:23 left to play in the second quarter. It's a 9-point Colonel advantage.
Cavaliers still looking for their first points here in this frame. Number 34 with the basketball. That is Chris Hodnett. Hodnett does not really have that typical basketball player's body, but he's going to go to the stripe for two.
Yeah, Hodnett is built more like an offensive lineman, and you've heard Coach Harris talk about him in a couple of interviews when speaking on the Chatham Cavaliers. He likes Hodnett's game. He's kind of an old-school kind of post player to where he wages his battles on the ground rather than the air. He boxes out well, moves well for a big guy. He's only about 5'11", but he's a true post player.
I think he's built more like a Mack Truck than an offensive lineman. He misses both free throws, though. Chatham gets the rebound. Cavaliers will stick that up. That won't fall. Galliard in a bit of a tug-of-war, and the possession arrow is going to stay to Chatham. Galliard, Malbec, McClure, Poindexter, and Nelson Dews, the five Colonels on the floor.
Yeah, Galliard and Barley got tied up with it there, and they called the jump ball. Possession arrow does favor the Cavaliers with 5:08 left to play in half.
Johnson, Hodnett, Roberts, Clark, and Barley, the five Cavaliers on the floor. They'll dump it off to Hodnett. Hodnett could not find it, and nobody saw it. And they're going to say it's going to stay to Chatham, but now there might be some discussion. And maybe not.
All three referees sort of looked at each other. Nobody was particularly sure what the call should be.
Hodnett with the inbounds. Now the pass is tossed over to Barley. Barley's going to try to drive in just in front of the free throw line. Pitches back. Stevie Johnson, high arcer, no good. And Johnson's going to be fouled. And there will be two shots.
A crafty play from Stevie Johnson. He saw Galliard coming in, rising high to try and block his shots. He threw up a very nice teardrop floater, and he got it over him, but he didn't get it in. Fouled in the process, though. 4:49 left to play in the Englishes, your complete home center, second quarter. Bob, you know they have Carhartt gear for men there,
I've
right?
heard.
I mentioned they made a great Christmas present. I guess you're on a birthday, senior.
Yeah,
right?
I am.
That's fine. Save up for something.
Actually, I'm going to wait till it passes so I can be on the birthday scene for 2017.
You're on a payment plan if you need to.
1911, and that's where it'll stay. Galliard with the free throw. Gafford family is listening, minus Kim.
Right.
She went out to check out the Red Devils and the Pioneers tonight over at Heritage, I believe. Ball back with the basketball, and they'll call a little touch on Antonio Roberts. Cavaliers fifth as a team. Roberts with his first.
Now, I'm going to call that a little bit interesting there, Bob. The referees were letting him play for the better part of the first quarter. We only saw one whistle in the first quarter.
Right.
And then that's a little touchy-feely, a foul about 45 feet away from the basket. 40 feet anyway. 45 might have been a little overzealous on my estimating process.
Dews with the basketball over to Malbec, who towed the line right from out of bounds, and McClure will put that up, and he will get fouled. And Antonio Roberts with his second in just a matter of moments. 6-1 on the Cavs.
19-11, Altavista on top. It was back and forth for a while. Colonels made it 6-5, and they've never relinquished the lead from that point forward. 4:22 left to play in the half.
McClure sinks the first. Now 20-11. Well, you saw that NBA strategy a few weeks ago with I believe it was the Rockets and the Pistons. Andre Drummond got fouled 5 times in the span of about 30 seconds from the same guy, and his name escapes me. right now. 21-11 as McClure hits.
And now in the NBA, they intentionally foul before the bonus, and then they don't foul once they get in the bonus.
It depends on how a shooter you are. Drummond missed 23 that night. And interesting fact about that, the high scorer on the Pistons had 23. So Drummond missed as many free throws as the high man had points. Chatham with the basketball. Three-pointer is going to be hoisted up and in. Shimon Barley was looking for space, finally saw that no one was around him, so I don't know if he rose, but he did fire, and it's 21-14 Altavista.
Yeah, Barley's probably not your prototypical three-point shooter for the Cavaliers, but he found some room, and he was feeling it, stroked it in there. 21-14. Colonels on top by 7 still.
Basketball in the hands of Lawrence Galliard. Galliard between the circles. Now will bring it right with the dribble over to McClure. McClure puts it on the floor with the left. Shot up is no good, and McClure is going to get fouled. And now Chatham is in an unfortunate situation. It'll be the bonus for Altavista for the rest of the first half. 3:34 until we get to that Subway intermission. Hodnett with the foul. His first, team 7th, I believe.
Our colleague, Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs, he always loves to see McClure attacking the rim. McClure has a great jump shot. He likes to fade away and use that jumper. But when you're a big, strong guy like Josh McClure, you got a quick first step. Never a bad idea to try and attack the front or the side of that rim any chance you get. There's a technical foul. Somebody got teed up there, and that somebody, I believe, is Christopher Hodnett for the Chatham Cavaliers. He was standing on the edge of the paint awaiting the Josh McClure free throw. And the official heard something that he was not in agreement with, and he teed up Chris Hodnett. That is the 7th team foul on Chatham as a team. McClure's going to finish out the second free throw, and then I believe they're going to send Maul back to shoot the 2 technical fouls.
Yeah, as Dave Haney has said in one of our jingles before, I'm afraid I have some bad news for the Cavaliers fans. In this case, it's going to be 2 more free throws.
Right.
So now the lead could maybe balloon over double digits.
You can't feel good about that if you're a Chatham fan in any way. We didn't see any body language or anything like that, and Hodnett must have just said something, like I said, in earshot of the referee that he didn't care for. Malbeck sinks the first of the technical free throws and sinks the second. So that's a 4-point free throw trip there for the Altavista Colonels, and they get the basketball back, Bobby.
And you know this having coached. I mean, there are 2 things that can get you teed or tossed in a situation. A, if you're showing up the official, that's going to be a no-no. B, it can be the magic word. And guess what? You don't know what the magic word is. They don't give you a card at the beginning of the game saying the magic word is.
I can tell you this. Most of those 4-letter words are on the card of no-no words.
Foul, not one of them, but Malbeck with the missed shot. Galliard with the board. Galliard stuck it back out to Poindexter. Good play. Galliard was in no man's land there, and now it's back over to Mormon.
It was a nice athletic play to keep it alive.
3:05 to go. Malbeck over to Poindexter. Poindexter sticks it into McClure on the block. McClure skips it across to Galliard, and Galliard is going to be fouled by number 52, Roberts. That's his 3rd in this quarter. He has 3 for the game as well.
Colonel's looking to do damage on the free throw line again as Troy Harris is going to employ a hockey-style line change and send, well, he's not going to send a fresh 5, but he's going to send a fresh 4 in there now. Let's see who they all are. It's Cameron Hughes, Jacob Adams, Jamal Thornhill. Traquan Farmer is going to sit at the scorer's table and wait. He is obviously checking in for the free throw shooter, Lawrence Galliard.
26-14, 2 minutes and 57 seconds to go. Now, the other thing, too, hate to belabor the point here, but with Chatham having 1 technical, it's almost like when you get 1, people start looking. Cavaliers down the other way in a hurry. Johnson took on 3, could not hit it off the glass to go down. Cameron Hughes with the basketball. Hughes is waiting for Malbeck to cross. Malbeck across the timeline now on the left side to Adams. Adams was throwing, but the bad news is Hughes was running.
Hughes went right towards the baseline. Adams threw it left. Just a miscommunication play. It's one of those plays that you see even in the NBA and in college. Guy will move one way and guy passes the other way.
Chatham with the basketball. Tyler Clark has it.
Colonels lead by 12. 2:32 left to play in the half.
Basketball by the Cavs as Chatham really slowing it down. I don't think that's been a bad strategy. It's just the Colonels' defense has been really good on the slowdown as well.
Well, if you're going to, Rosetta thinks about a 3. If you're going to slow down and take less shots, they better be quality shots. If you're going to sacrifice quantity, Bob, you got to have quality.
Johnson missed the three. Now the question is, where did that foul come from? They're going to say way after the shot, so it won't be shooting, but it will be a personal against Jamal Thornhill.
Yeah, they're going to say it's an on-the-floor foul, and that's the right call. He came down. It was in the process of the box out. It may have even been after the box out, honestly, but I'm glad the officials got that one right. He was certainly done in the act of shooting. 2:10 left to play in the half. It's 26-14. Altavista Colonel lead.
I think Charles Warren was trying to campaign for the act.
Well, certainly that's what a coach should do.
Right.
I mean, he should have tried to go for that and say, hey, he was in the act of shooting, but he wasn't.
And I think Coach Harris is going the other side of there was no foul.
That's right.
Chatham with the basketball, had it stripped, now picked back up. The little scoop, underhanded layup by number 12. That is Nyshawn Red, and Nyshawn with a nice bucket. And the Cavs back to 10.
That's a crafty finish there. He even had to put some English on it to get it to skip off the backboard, then the side of the iron, and then fall down for two.
Colonels with the rock, and it's driving Jamal Thornhill. Kind of emulation from the left side, except Thornhill just did it all in the penetration, didn't catch it from the block. 28-16. Colonels back up a dozen, in and out on the shot. Buzetta just had it stripped away.
Nice play by Thornhill. Buzetta is about 6'5", but he brought it down waist high, and Thornhill never let him take it back up. Talk about crafty. That is sneaky right there by Thornhill to get in and rip it away from the big man.
Yeah, Buzetta smacks the door as well, but I think that was just frustration at himself. And I have that being 10, but I could be wrong.
I normally lean in your direction. Our good friend
is a dangerous lean.
Yeah. Robert Duff is in Baltimore, so you know who's taking his place over there at the scoreboard and the clock. Son, Scooter Duff. Scooter did the honors last year for a game, so he's got some experience.
Well, I've always said, nepotism is great as long as you keep it in the family. Sure. Three-pointer up, no good by Red. Shot up by Hodnett, no good. Rebounded by the Colonels, and Farmer will kick it back to Malbec. If for some reason you don't know what nepotism is, look it up, and the joke will then explain itself.
Colonels lead by 12. Scoring on the far bucket from Bob and I's perspective with 60 seconds left to play in the half.
Colonels with the sweeping layup, but Trayshawn Farmer can't get it to go down. Cameron Hughes comes out with it. Now the Colonels, the middle of the floor just wide open as Chatham's defense just did the impression of the Red Sea there. Adams looking for somewhere to go. He'll pitch back to Thornhill. 35 seconds to go. Play-by-play thing's not as easy. Do I have to do it for 4 quarters on Tuesday?
We'll see. Colonel's clearly in the stall ball mode, trying to hold for the last shot, Bob, or maybe just holding until a great shot opens up. Down to 20 seconds left to play in the half. Here's Thornhill. He'll drive, and here's the great shot. A wide-open layup, finishes with the left hand from the left side. Thornhill's having a nice half as we're down to 10 seconds left to play in it.
Again, the C's part, 30-16. Colonel's hoping to keep the Chatham C's off the board. Shot up and in as Nyshawn Red gets it to go, and that will do it for the first 16 minutes. 16 minutes in the books. Subway halftime show coming up with Altavista leading Chatham 30-18 right here on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Salmon with Best Bet Motor Sales. Home of your 60-second guaranteed credit approval. We have 2 locations to serve you. Our first location is 29 South, 5 minutes past the airport, and location number 2 is 29 North, right in Amherst. We have over 75 clean, low-mileage late model pre-owned vehicles for you to choose from, low down payments, low monthly payments, and warranty on all vehicles. So don't forget, guaranteed credit approval. Best Bet Motor Sales.
I'm Jeff Walker of First National Bank and the manager at our Main Street branch in Altavista. Did you know that local bankers have a lot more at stake in taking better care of you? You see, helping local customers like you be more successful is our only focus, and each customer is so important. So for your small business, construction, and personal loan needs, think of me and think of us first. That's local First National Bank. We'll help you bring home more bacon. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show has arrived, and the Altavista Colonels have a lead, 30-18, over the Chatham Cavaliers. Bobby, it was back and forth there for the first part of the first half. Then Altavista, as I mentioned, when they took the 6-5 lead, they never relinquished it, and it seemed like the Cavaliers grew more and more frustrated as that second quarter grew on. Probably rose to a peak there in frustration with the technical foul from Chris Hodnett. Although, again, you didn't see a lot of body language there. Didn't look like he was visibly upset about anything, and I'm not sure that him getting a technical is any indication that the other four guys on the court are frustrated. But certainly things haven't gone the Cavaliers' way. Colonel's defense is a big reason for that, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah, and I think off your frustration topic is once you get frustrated, I think things kind of frustration leads to impatience, which leads to bad shots more often than not. And we'll talk about that as the evening continues. Colonels have a lead of 12. You hit on the defense, though. I couldn't agree with you more. Defense was in just total lockdown mode. And I don't know if if Chatham is, a lot of times you hear coaches say, well, we're going to take what they're going to give us.
Right.
Well, Colonels are not giving them the outside shot, and Chatham's still looking for it. So I don't know if Chatham can find a way to get inside, but it seems like that Colonel's defense is really locking down on the perimeter, and Chatham's not making moves towards the rim.
Colonel's rebounding well, too. They're blocking out well. They're battling for some of those loose ball rebounds. I won't say Chatham hasn't had any second chances, Bob, but let's face it, it's been a lot of one and done for the Chatham Cavaliers, and when you're not a great shooting team and when you're not getting layups, you're not getting high percentage shots, well, you've got to get some offensive rebounds to offset some of those missed shots. Bob and I will try and offset some of our mistakes with a really good Subway halftime show. I think it's been pretty good so far. We'll step aside, gather our thoughts. Bob Alvis gathering more intelligence and working on the statistics as we speak. That and so much more right after this as the Subway halftime show returns. It's the Altavista Colonels on top by 12 over the Chatham Cavaliers. You're hearing it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
It's a good show, man.
Man, that was awesome.
Loud crowd. House salad time.
I'll bring it on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have to do the encore tonight, buddy.
No, they want to see your face.
Go chant your name.
Not it, man. They're saying Brett.
Well, I'm taking this with me.
No. I'll hold it for you.
Seriously, don't touch my salad.
Time for my encore now, son.
The house salad. Grilled chicken atop mixed greens, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, cheddar and jack cheeses, and fried onions. Served with Texas toast. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road, Lynchburg.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
This broadcast is brought to you by the KD Country Sports Club.
It's Chef's Drive-In, keeping drive-ins alive with hometown pride and service.
One-stop mart where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
El Cerrito Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time.
Altavista Medical and Oncology Massage Therapy at Broad Street can relieve your pain.
Vista Food, Altavista, your hometown grocery with the freshest produce and the best meats.
McDonald's in Altavista, committed to the community and now serving breakfast all day.
KD Country Basketball Broadcast, brought to you by members of the Altavista Sports Club.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns from Altavista High School. Nice crowd in the gym tonight, Bob. I'm going to estimate it at about 70% full. And like I said, I think a lot of folks were anxious to get back out and see some basketball after a long delay because of the winter storm. No delay in you getting the stats. It looks like you got that in record time. Or are you not done yet?
Oh, I was done. I was getting ready to give a shout-out, but if you want me to go to the stats.
No, give the shout-out first. I was just going to say, look, you got the stats done in record time, and then I thought about, well, maybe he's not done. But you are done.
Yeah, I got a couple shout-outs. My friend Jay Brooks listening at work, and he and I like to get
work. Come on,
at work.
What does he do?
Yeah, that's classified.
Okay.
But we have a common interest giving one of our friends, Juman Haskins, who's the chief photographer at ABC 13, a hard time. Speaking of ABC 13, you'll see the highlights from this game on tonight. Has Dave Walls, the birthday boy. I always like to take off my birthday, but they give Dave more work on his birthday to do, so he'll be on full court press tonight as well. But I do have scoring numbers, and we'll get to more shout-outs as we progress. For Chatham, it has been Nyshawn Red leading the way, 9 points for the Cavs. Shaman Barley has 5, 3 points from Stevie Johnson, and 1 point from Tyler Clark at the free throw line. For Altavista, really spread out tonight. Poindexter with 6, Galliard with 5, Dews has 5, 4 apiece for Mormon, McClure, and Thornhill, and Mateo Malbeck with 2 on the free throw.
Malbeck
free throws.
Good point. Malbeck has facilitated well, though. Don't let that 2 points fool you. I think Mateo Malbeck's playing a very good half of basketball. Colonels lead by 12, 30-18. Yes, plenty of shout-outs. I think we'll even have some more, Bob. I know that a lot of folks are listening. A lot of folks that couldn't make it to the gym do like to listen. And we know some people, will pop in and out, listen to a minute or two here or there. Either way, we're very thankful for you. You guys are the best fans around. Bob, I always think about how thankful I am that we get to get on the radio and do this and be a part of the tradition and hopefully, further the tradition a little bit. I'm not getting sentimental and sappy.
I was ready to go look for a box of Kleenex.
I know you were.
Getting a little deep there, I thought, for a minute.
I get you some flotation devices if it's a little bit too deep for you. You want to break again?
No, I'm fine.
Let's keep the ball rolling. Adjustments for the second half. What do you think?
For us or for the game?
We're not going to be able to implement enough of those. The team might be able to make some changes.
I think Chatham needs to try to get it to the rim a little bit. I mean, every shot from the outside has been a tough shot. Granted, some of them are going to go down, but it's going to be less than more on that one. So I think Chatham needs to try to figure out a way to get inside. And worst case scenario, if you get inside and don't make it, maybe you can get fouled. For Altavista, I think you just keep up status quo. I mean, the first half went well. Chatham's points went down from 10 to 8 from quarter 1 to quarter 2. If you can get that going down again, then you're looking at no more than 3 field goals. And I'll tell you, the Colonels, I think, still would like to wash that bad taste out of their mouth from the other night, which has been more than 7 days ago at this point.
Yeah, I believe it's 8 days ago, in fact. And certainly, you're right, the third quarter really burned them badly against Dan River. I have a feeling Coach Harris mentioned that in the locker room at halftime. He said, hey, guys, we've had some letdowns in the third quarter. Let's come out with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. And not only that, let's play smart as well. I think the Colonels are going to not just try and maintain the status quo, as you said, Bob. I think they're going to try and put their foot on the gas and get more and more, and maybe even try and kick it into high gear here in the second half.
Speaking of Dan River, they're playing Altavista's next opponent. They're playing Appomattox tonight in Appomattox, and after 1 quarter of play, Dan River leads the Raiders 20-9. Raiders are here Tuesday night.
Yes, and you mentioned it's going to be you and Oscar Briggs on that. I might get a Tuesday off, but we'll see what
Throwback
happens.
Tuesday.
We'll see what happens. I might have to get called back in there. I'll give you an update from the Lady Colonels game down in Chatham. And might as well, as Daquan Poindexter gets fouled on the floor, left wing about 25 feet away from the basket. I might as well tell you, or I might as well send a shout-out to Lady Colonel fans down there, particularly Addison and Chancellor Mormon's mom. She is a faithful listener. Here's an inbound play to Nelson Deuce. I'm sorry I cut you off there for a moment.
Go ahead.
Bob McClure, pump fake. Now he's going to fire and fall away off the window and in. Josh McClure with a nice little NBA-like play there with the head fake to set the man up and then send it off the backboard and down.
I think if you're Chatham right now, you just need to find something that's going to give you some confidence.
Agreed.
That's
not
not
a
it.
turnover there. That's a throwaway as Galliard and McClure converge to intercept the pass. Nelson Dews high stepping into the front court, now in the right corner to Mateo Malback. Malback a mere 5 feet in front of us, tried for the backdoor cut, and it's a kickball off of a kickball off of Tyler Clark. That'll keep the basketball with Altavista. Colonels will inbound. Watch for the lob play, Bob. Don't blink here on the inbounds pass. Poindexter holds it over his head, now goes low, tries to bounce it into Galliard. Galliard has to reach down and recover it. Double teamed, ripped away by Nyshawn Red, but that's a jump ball, mutual possession tie-up. This time the possession arrow favors the Cavaliers, so they'll take over with 7:15 left to play, but not before Coach Troy Harris calls a timeout. We'll take the timeout with them. It's Colonels 32, Cavaliers 18. You're hearing it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Another inbound play for the Colonels. They throw it into Mateo Malback. Malback skies and finishes from the right side for two, 34-18. Colonels really in charge, Bob.
Absolutely. Colonels, put 4 on the board within the first minute here of quarter number 3. Now Chatham with the basketball. Long 3 by the Cavs. Not going to fall down, rebounded by Altavista. That was Nyshawn Red, who has been really the Cavs' lone bright spot offensively tonight.
Nelly, 3-ball up, hit the back plate and wouldn't go in. There's a rebound from Antonio Roberts.
Obstructed view seats tonight.
No kidding. Cavaliers going the other way quickly. Basketball tipped around, now finally controlled by Chris Hodnett. Ooh, Hodnett, nice two-hand pass down to the low block, and a good finish by Tyler Clark. Clark had some open room to operate, and a good pass by Hodnett to get it to him gives the Cavaliers their first points of the half. Nelson Dews striding right into the teeth of the defense. Shot won't fall, and he is fouled. Galliard rising up to try and dunk it back in, but missed the handle. And Coach Harris, I think, wanted Lawrence to leave that ball alone. I think Coach Harris thought maybe it had a chance of going in. And Lawrence has come close a couple times this season, Bob, to touching that ball when it was still on the cylinder, which is a no-no. That's goaltending. Yep. Nelson Dews strokes in the first free throw, making it 35-20. Colonels lead a full 15 with 6:24 left to play in the third. Third quarter presented by English's, your complete home center and your headquarters for Carhartt apparel for men. Somewhere right now, Oscar Briggs just put in parentheses or women. Second free throw converted by Nelson Dews as well. Colonels have been very good from the charity stripe tonight, Bobby.
Oh, that probably means I need to look at some numbers.
Not
for
necessarily.
Colonels. Yeah, they have definitely made more than they've missed. That's for sure.
Colonels lead by 16. It's Chatham ball in the front court. Chatham working on the far basket from our perspective now, or going right to left, if you will. Shamon Barley, overhead jump pass into the left corner to Nyshawn Red. That won't fall. Oh, Colonels on the run quickly. Up ahead to McClure. McClure with the finish. That happened in the blink of an eye. Nelson Dews grabbed the rebound, threw it to midcourt to Malback. Malback just bounced a lead pass up ahead for McClure, who finished. It literally took about a second and a half to go the full 90 feet.
Foul is against the Cavs. It's on Red, I believe.
We normally don't see the Colonels run that kind of a quick breakout, fast break on a rebound. But that time they did it to perfection. Nelson Dews grabbed the rebound under the basket, immediately looked up, saw Mateo Malback, hit him in full stride, and then Malback returned the favor up ahead further to McClure.
Calden and Buzetta check back in. Colonels 11 of 12 from the free throw line.
Dews. Nelly, 2-on-1 fast break, lobs it up for Galliard, and Galliard finishes. I think Nelson Dews wanted Lawrence to dunk it home, but Lawrence settles for the lay-in, and that gives the Colonels a full 20-point lead, 40-20. 5.5 left to play in the third. Barley attacks, tries to free up some room with his right hand using the left-hand dribble. Now it's just left of center to Nyshawn Red. Red will back it out near the midcourt stripe. He'll use a Buzetta screen, and he'll go around it the other way, actually. Now dishing off on the pass. That ball hit the back wall, out of bounds, deflected off the Colonels. It'll stay with Chatham. 5:17 left to play in the third.
Colonels doubling up the Cavs right now. Cavs only have that 2 points from Clark, and we've almost gone 3 minutes in. Chatham with the basketball.
Low-scoring affair down in tight squeeze. Malbach has a steal. And a fast break coming once again. That update from the girls' game is going to have to wait for a second. Nelson Dews, crossover dribble, turns away from the basket, throws a pass to Galliard. Now it's in the hands of McClure. McClure striding down the right side of the paint. Shot won't fall. It was altered. Basketball is loose. Now it's on the floor. Scramble for it. And it's Tyler Clark for the Cavaliers out of there with it. Up ahead to Red. Red is fouled and count the basket as the Cavaliers opportunistic after the rolling loose ball was scooped up and then thrown into the front court for points. 40-22 now. They've cut the lead to 18.
It's happening in tight squeeze.
21-19 Cavaliers at half. So Cavaliers lead by 2 in the girls' game, but a very low-scoring affair, I would say. And remember, Bob, the Altavista Lady Colonels are on a 7-game win streak. They beat Liberty last night, looking to make it 8 in a row.
And that's a good Liberty team.
Sure
That
is.
is a good Liberty team.
Colonels lost to them in overtime earlier in the season. Full court pressure coming from Chatham. Altavista breaks it with ease. Poindexter skying. Couldn't time up the dunk. Came down awkwardly on the right knee. He's going to hang back for a second and now start to jog and place the defense. It's Chatham basketball with 4:40 left to play in the third. Stevie Johnson throws a long cross-court pass to Tyler Clark, who walked as he was getting started going towards the basket. Cameron Hughes going to check in the ball game for Daquan Poindexter, who, as I mentioned, tried to sky for the dunk or the lay-in, couldn't finish either, and came down awkwardly, it looked like, on the right knee. He's walked off under his own power. I think Coach Harris wanted to get him a breather just to be sure.
Got a question I'm going to pose to you here in just a moment as Dews just drives the lane, tried to lay it up. Did not fall, front ironed it, and rebounded by Chatham. Cavaliers going to come the other way with it. Left side as it goes, as Chatham is shooting towards the main entrance here in Altavista. If you have ever been to the gymnasium here in half 2. Three-pointer by the Cavs. Red, not a soul on the other side for the opposite side rebound. And McClure finds Dews wide open, and Dews lays it up and in. Colonels up 19.
Colonels never got back on defense. Troy Harris urging his squad to go back and do the same. It looks like both teams are getting a little sloppy. If it was a half-court basketball game, Bob, it might look pretty good, but unfortunately, it's the full 94 feet here tonight that both teams have to get up and down. And I don't know, perhaps first game in a while after the long layoff, maybe the legs have disappeared slightly.
Well,
I don't know. Seems like a rest might help their legs some.
You can make that as an excuse, not saying you are, but every coach on that sideline is not going to take that
right
as a reason. Wholesale subs for the Colonels. Three guys are going to check in.
Free throw would not fall for Stevie Johnson. On the court right now for the Colonels in the home whites, Jacob Adams, Cameron Hughes, Chancellor Mormon, Jamal Thornhill, and Nelson Dews kind of playing possum over here by the water cooler. Looks like Shamon Barley sees him, though, for the Chatham Cavaliers. He's not going to let him get too far out of sight. Stevie Johnson's next free throw, high arcing, sort of a knuckleball free throw, is good. Full court pressure from the Chatham Cavaliers. We're halfway through this third quarter. Colonels lead 42-24. Nelson Dews slicing his way in and out of the deep and then goes back to the free throw line. Jacob Adams is going to get called with an off-the-ball foul as he sort of pushed off both Tyler Clark.
Clark may have been the instigator, but they catch that second guy probably 9 times out of 10. And Adams happened to be the second guy in this case. His first, team's third, as we reach 3:50 to go in the third quarter of play.
Cavalier basketball in the road black jerseys. Working on the far bucket from Bob and I's perspective here courtside. Stevie Johnson steps around the defense nicely. Off-balance free throw, off-balance lay-in, will fall with the right hand by Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson, a wide receiver in the NFL. Don't know that there's a relation, but this Stevie Johnson's going in traffic too as Adams fouled, and Johnson is going to be the culprit, I believe, on this one.
Adams had a full head of steam to the basket. Johnson came cross-court to try and block the shot, although Adams did have 2 other Chatham defenders standing in his way. 42-26, Colonels on top. Jacob Adams can stretch that lead out a bit from the free throw line.
Stevie kind of giving it to the Altavista bench a little bit on that as well, as he was clapping towards their direction. Yeah, it's a 16-point game right now in the favor of Altavista. So,
well, guys like to play. Guys like to talk. Some guys more than others. And, to me, it's part of the game as long as you don't get out of line with it. A little bit of gamesmanship is okay as long as you don't take it over
I
the
just
line.
don't know that you need to fire up a team that's already up 16, though.
Well, I
guess
would
it's kind of where I
agree
was
with that
coming
from a strategical
Right.
standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, it certainly might not be the best idea. 43-26. Oh, Adams nearly got a steal. Stevie Johnson got it back. Johnson's going to fire a shot that never hit any iron. Tyler Clark dishes back to Stevie Johnson. There's a rebound from Jacob Adams. Adams going to shield the basketball away. Lost on the dribble. Now got to recover. Finds a teammate in Nelson Dews. Dews bumped as he catches the pass. That was all in the backcourt.
And officials need to kind of get up in there a little bit as Johnson and Adams kind of tangling a little bit after the play.
And I think it's like I said, as long as you don't cross the line, it's okay. I think it's getting very close to the line at this point. And you're right. I think certainly veteran crew of officials should probably step in there and just say, hey, guys, that's enough. We've had the gamesmanship, but let's cut it off right there and let's put a stop to it.
And Stevie Johnson is the type of guy I want on my team, but I hate him if he's on the other because he's being a pest right now in terms of trying to get in the head, which is great.
Basket for two, won't go in. I agree with everything you're saying, Bob.
Right.
There's a rebound by Shimon Barley. Barley's going to bring it up in the middle. Now he'll angle to the
And
right.
he's high
hand
energy.
off for Tyler Clark. He is high energy. He's a good ball player
Right.
for sure.
Yep.
Got the basketball now, going to use a left-hand dribble. Waist high. He doesn't look like he's completely upright right now. Did he get tangled up or something? Does he have a knee issue? Referee's going to stop play.
I don't know
He's
that
not-
Charles
yeah,
Warren
yeah,
called the timeout. He was just kind of
Okay, here's what happened. The referee called a
inadvertent whistle.
I think the referee called a timeout to let Stevie Johnson get off the court because he noticed at the same time I did that something was not right with Stevie Johnson. He was walking with a noticeable limp. Referee saying that was a referee's timeout. I wanted to let him get out of danger. Stevie Johnson is on the bench right now. It's Chatham basketball with 2:15 left to play in the third.
Good eye.
43-26. I'm good for something, right? Oh, nice underhanded pass there by Hodnett. Finds Antonio Roberts for two.
I was actually talking about Hodnett because I knew that play was coming. Now Hodnett really found the man. So does Nelson Dews right here.
Ball away jumper from Chancellor Mormon just outside the paint from 7 feet. Won't go down. There's a foul on, I believe, Traquan Farmer trying to get the rebound.
Colonels have not played their cleanest 7 minutes or 6 minutes and some change, I should say, as we have a $1:58 to go in this third quarter.
On the court right now for Altavista, Chancellor Mormon, Nelson Dews, Jamal Thornhill, Cameron Hughes, and Traquan Farmer.
And we've talked about this 100 times. I mean, even when you're up 15, you still have to display that killer instinct. Three-pointer by the Cavs, hoisted up, no good. Rebounded by Altavista. Because you don't want to let them get back in it.
Sure. Nelson Dews going to one-hand it into the corner to Chancellor Mormon. That's the right corner, right in front of us here, courtside at Altavista. Nelly attacks, gets to the free throw line, then stops and leaves it back off for Mormon. Nice cut by Nelson Dews. He's got on the left-hand post. Shot got tapped away, but he got tapped on the arm, and this is going to send Nelson Dews to the charity stripe to shoot two with 1:25 remaining in the English's Your Complete Home Center third quarter. It's a 43-28 Colonel advantage. I'm Kyle Haney. He is Bob Alvis. It's Altavista and Chatham. It's been a Colonel lead ever since it was 6-5 way back in the first quarter. And Altavista looking to stretch out the lead from the free throw line here. That one in and out won't fall for Nelly. Nelson Dews, a senior, one of two seniors on the Altavista Ball Club.
Don't tell them that this is a building thing.
Oh, yeah, right. This is their last rodeo.
Right.
To borrow the Sheriff Peyton Manning's term. 43-28.
Richmond's the goal. I mean, that's the goal for every team at the start of the season.
Well, when certainly you're a three-time state champion, 4 total in the career of the school, I feel like it's definitely a goal for the Altavista Colonels. Oh, little baby hook shot from Quali Witcher would not fall. I like it. Very reminiscent of the Magic Johnson touch from the 80s, but couldn't get it to go. Colonel basketball in the front court.
Dews over to McClure. I'll tell you a story in a moment. I think you'll be proud of me. Fires it back to Dews along the perimeter.
60 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Dews looks at the rim, then leaves it off for McClure. He tried to get it to Gallier on the low post, and it wouldn't go as it was poked away from the backside by Nyshawn Red. Jump ball right around midcourt. It's a tie-up. Possession arrow favors Chatham.
So we had the snow days, and of course, you know, with my daughters being in elementary school, we still like to work on the academics. But I also showed them a video of a person who had maybe one of the best hooks of all.
Kareem?
Not talking about boxing, right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, if you will, in college. And what a winner. What a winner.
Amazing player. All-time leading scorer in the NBA.
You're correct.
So that's not too shabby either. Buzetta has it. Turnaround shot off the window and in. Pardon me. That's Matt Galden for 2. Galden from the right post with a nice little catch and turnaround jumper. 43-30. Colonels lead by 13. Here's Galliard on the right post. Tapped and bumped on the head. Shot will fall anyway. Good job by Galliard. Stick it up with a strong power move inside there and fight through the contact. 28.5 seconds left in the quarter. Colonels have stretched the lead back to 15.
Yeah. Bad news for Chatham. That's Red's 4th. 7 on the Cavs as a team, so the Colonels are shooting the rest of the way, and Galliard will make this a 12 of 13 evening, I believe, for the Colonels.
As you mentioned, it's Red's 4th foul.
Right.
Stevie Johnson is on the bench with some injury issues. So that's 2 very good, very dynamic guard players in trouble for Chatham. Chatham basketball with 20 seconds left to play in the quarter. This is Tyler Clark, inching close to the far sideline. Kicks to Barley. Barley catching through, shoot 3, won't fall. Hodnett grabs the rebound at the free throw line. Going to send it back to Clark. Clark with a rhythm three-pointer from the right wing. That won't go. Loose balls all of a sudden into the backcourt. Make that the front court for the Colonels. Ball back spins around. Can't get the layup to fall. Chatham's got a chance here at the buzzer. Matt Galden fires and hit the backboard, but not the rim, and we have played 3 full quarters of basketball. Altavista on top by 16. Join us for the 4th quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
46-30. Altavista on top over the Chatham Cavaliers. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Bob Alvis. Eleanor and Rachel back at home base making it sound good. And we're glad you've decided to stop by and join our party on the radio. Bobby, I would say this one's not quite over yet, even though it's a 16-point deficit for Chatham.
Yeah, Chatham's most prolific quarter right there. They had 12 points, the most they've had this evening scoring the basketball. Still settling for outside shots. They're getting better looks, but the results still are not copacetic, as they say in Charles Warren's eyes. Coach Warren's alma mater, Dan River, actually playing in Ringgold. I said Appomattox earlier, but senior night in Ringgold, 31-21, they lead at the intermission.
Well, that's a indicator right there that the season is coming to a close very quickly if Dan Rivers got senior night. 1 full week of basketball left, and then I think a half week after that. Then I think they're right into tournament play here. Tournament for Conference 44 starts in exactly 2 weeks from today. Colonels could have a bye. They're in the lead in the conference standings right now. McClure got in front of a Chatham Cavalier pass and tapped it towards the lobby. That's out of bounds. Cavaliers will retain possession. They'll inbound on the baseline underneath their scoring bucket. Trailing by 16, 7:37 left to play in the ball game. Barley, high lob pass in to Tyler Clark. Clark sends it back to Barley along the far sideline. Colonels look to be in man-to-man defense.
If I'm Coach Harris right here, I want to see my team keep their intensity, especially on the defensive end.
And I'm not exactly sure Coach Harris was particularly pleased with the way the third quarter played out. Jump shot too strong from Galden. McClure rebounds and then dishes it off before he falls to the deck to avoid the traveling call. Nelson Dews, one-hand pass to McClure. McClure, a couple of head fakes back to Nelly on the left wing. Nelson will drive, circles the D, gets it to the rim, and is fouled. They'll go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. The shot would not go down. 7:06 left to play in the fourth.
Colonel shooting the rest of the way. That's foul number 8 against Chatham, and 4th foul against Barley as well. So
fouls
racking up quickly.
Yeah, they're adding up for the Cavaliers. And when the Colonels have been so dangerous from the free throw line, Bob, it's a double-edged sword. Is there such thing as a triple-edged sword or anything like that?
If there is, I'm sure you could find it.
It's almost worse than a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? It's like compounding interest, maybe. Nelson Dews, another 3 ball up and good. They continue to really stroke it I mentioned that Malbach was worried about the jump shots going away. Well, the set shot from the free throw line appears to have gotten better after the long layoff for the Colonels. Maybe they shot some out in the driveway at home when they couldn't get in practice.
Just clear a little spot off. You can always shoot some free throws. 48-30.
As long as it's 15 feet away, right?
Exactly. Chatham went to the loose basketball. Gaulden picked it up. He'll kick it back out. Barley for long range, no good. And again, Chatham just not in position on rebounding on those long range shots also.
Malbach races it into the front court. Step inside the three-point line. Overhead pass down low to McClure. McClure hit the deck because he was dropped there by Hodnett. Hodnett with a great display of sportsmanship says sorry and helps McClure up. They pat each other on the shoulders, and it's going to send Josh McClure to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1.
I think
19 foul for Chatham.
I think you and the Big O were raved about Hodnett's sportsmanship qualities in Chatham, if I'm not mistaken. See, I do listen.
We need an all-nice-guy team. We need like an all-dunkers team, an all-name team, a first team, obviously, and then an all-nice-guy team, and I do believe
all-time or just from
each
this
season,
year?
Each season. All-time would be cool. That would take a little bit more effort. Free throw missed there by Josh McClure. 48-30. Colonels lead by 18. Fourth quarter brought to you by your home for Atrium Vinyl Windows. Yes, that's English's Your Complete Home Center.
That must be a two-shot foul, by the way.
Well, very
McClure
interesting.
missed the first one. So
I know. Did you think McClure was in the act of shooting?
I thought it was close.
Okay. Very politically correct answer, Bob.
Not running for office, but I'm always available. 49-30, 19-point margin now for the Colonels.
Red will jog it into the front court. Right-hand dribble, chest pass to the right wing, over to Tyler Clark.
Red's got 4 to his name on the bad side, too, in the foul column.
Clark flips it back to Stevie Johnson, who's back in the ball game. Here comes a pull-up three from Nyshawn Red. Won't go. Lawrence Galliard grabs the rebound along the baseline, looking for space. Bounce pass over to Mateo Malbach. Malbach with a pass fake. Now he'll dribble it across the timeline into the front court. Colonels lead by 19. Nelly skying to the rim. Shot doesn't go down. Hit the right edge of it. But Nelson News back to the free throw again after the foul.
Stevie Johnson, now it's double bonus the rest of the way. And, you know, I think Chatham's almost selling out for threes right now. I don't know that you need to do it right now. Second foul on Johnson, and the 10th on the Cavs as a team. Nelson Dews at the line for 2, and the first one goes in. I'll tell you, Nelson making that look like a gimme putt. And one of our friends listening tonight, Chris Long, 20-footer gimme putt for him.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the man is dynamite from everywhere. He's a talk about all sportsmanship team, all nice guy team. Chris Long clearly on that team. Another good golfer listening. Robert Duff, he says he's all in. There's a timeout for the Altavista Colonels. It's a 30-second one. We'll take it with them. They lead by 21. Just over 6 minutes left to play in the fourth on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Cavaliers will inbound it after the Altavista timeout. 51-30. Colonels lead by 21. Bob and I will still give you plenty of compelling reasons to stick around and join the party here on KD Country. Basketball out of bounds. Cavaliers lost it. It's going to go over to the Colonels.
Okay, now what I was asking you to think about earlier, my friend Mark Robertson, your friend as well from the News in Advance. We'll get back to it in a minute.
Long baseball pass to Nelson Dews. Nelly looks it over to McClure, and then McClure with a nice head fake to deposit the two-pointer in. 53-30. Colonels are turning up the heat. They got another steal as the basketball goes out of bounds. Give me your friend.
I promise this has a point. Mark Robertson, who covers a lot of prep, says was at the Altavista Max game. He often picks the best do of the night.
Hang on again. Long inbound.
Well, there's
pass
the question.
To Nelson Dews. Galliard rising from the right side. Count the basket. And the bench coming to life from the Altavista Colonels. They love that play from Lawrence Galliard. 25-point lead now for Altavista.
12-0 run. If you go back from the third quarter, it's an 8-0 run this frame.
Galliard with a chance to make it a 13-0 run. and a chance to make it a 26-point lead. Yes, Mark Robertson loves to discuss the hair. There's an offensive rebound from McClure. Oh, he wanted to go to Daquan Poindexter with the pass, little off target, and it ends up in the front row. Back to the hair momentarily. Do we pick one guy from each team or what?
He's not here tonight, so it's not like he can govern this rule, but I'll let you...
Oscar Briggs and I love what Cameron Hughes does with the hair.
Yep.
It's a very Odell Beckham-ish look, and it's a good look. Wow, Stevie Johnson with a pull-up three. Nice shot, Red for three. Pardon me.
Red's got the dude going as well.
He does. Good look. Long three-pointer there from Nyshawn Red. Nelson Dews' shot was altered. Ballback couldn't get the rebound pulled in.
There's
Stevie.
Stevie.
The other way quickly. Yes, this is Stevie Johnson. One-hand bounce pass to Galton. Galton's short jumper won't go, but he's got his own rebound at the free throw line. Right wing to Stevie Johnson, and that is rejected into no man's land. Nelson Dews with a very good block to deny Stevie Johnson a shooting opportunity. Johnson will inbound, sends it in the right corner. Barley step back three. NBA-like is good. Throw out all the rules now, Bob. Just pull out a three-pointer from anywhere. It might even give you a look.
They don't need to do that.
Poindexter lost it momentarily. Colonel still have to break the timeline. In a bit of trouble, they do. McClure, 3-on-2 fast break. He'll keep it himself. Can't finish it, but there's Galliard to grab it. His left-hand finish won't go. Got another try. That one thing he's fouled on. That one wouldn't fall either. I bet if you give Lawrence Galliard 3 tries from inside 1 foot, he'd make all 3 of them. But that time, he missed all 3 of them, interestingly enough.
Galliard will go to the stripe for 2. I'll go back to the hairdo in honor of our good friend Mark Robertson. I got to go with Buzetta. Buzetta doesn't have a lot, but he's got it in a little mini bun up on the top. Very glad I didn't do that tonight. That would have been embarrassing for the both of us.
Would have been a good look for you. No, yeah, it's a very very professional soccer player-ish kind of look. Turn on the Premier League, you see a lot of haircuts like that Philip Buzetta is sporting. Speaking of Cameron Hughes' hair, he and Hair are back in the ball game. He joins Chancellor Mormon, Mateo Malback, Jamal Thornhill, and Josh McClure. 4:35 left to play in the fourth quarter. It's a 21-point Colonel advantage, pardon me. This is Shaman Barley with a left-hand dribble. Ooh, put it on his hip momentarily there, but the referee didn't see it. Now he's going to work to get by Mateo Malback. Lost the handle. Ball floats out of bounds. They're going to call it foul.
On the floor.
Yep. That's on Mateo Malback.
5th against the Colonels. Malback, I believe, is either his first or his second. 3rd. Not on Malback either, on McClure. Now, I believe Mark was at the game at Altavista Max. He said I had the best do, but I would not take the award unless I could share it with Coach Tinsley.
Boy, that's a seriously good inside joke there. Hodden tries to throw an over-the-shoulder pass. It got deflected away, ended up in the hands of Quali Witcher, then stuck in by Shaman Barley on the stick-back rebound. Chatham's cut it down to a 19-point advantage. I mean, they were down as much as 26 earlier in this quarter, so you got to give the Cavaliers credit for continuing to fight.
Yeah, I think
Cameron Hughes just right of center.
I think at this point it's where you almost have to make a game within a game.
Certainly.
If you're Chatham, because to erase a 19-point deficit with 3:50 as McClure fades away, no good, out of Hughes' hands. Now Chatham with it. Here comes Barley the other way. Barley leaves it off right side, lays it up and in. That is Stevie Johnson, and Troy Harris would like to stop the clock again. He has nothing left but fulls. He'll take one. We'll stop it as well. 3:41 to go in regulation. Altavista leads Chatham 57-40 on KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg.
Hello, this is Jerry Motley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We mentioned the Cavaliers getting back in the ball game, trailing by as much as 26 at one point in this quarter, Bob. They trail by 17 now. Certainly that's what prompted a timeout from Colonel's coach, Troy Harris.
Yeah, I mean, possibly you're right. I think it's more of what Altavista is not doing. I don't know that he is has concern with the run, but I just think he sees a lot on his side that he wants to clean up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that Chatham was getting back in it because of some of those Colonel mistakes.
It's going to be hard to erase 17 points in 3:41, though.
It is.
But I don't want to try it either. If I'm Altavista, I don't want it to get down to 12.
That's right. Hughes will run the baseline to his right, flips it off to Malback. They get it in.
That just needs to be cleaned up by some things that you're not doing. You're playing into Chatham's hands right now, fast and reckless.
Thornhill, left wing. He'll dribble to his right with the right hand. Head fakes, now a spin move. Guarded tightly by Shimon Barley.
Cavs defense is tightened up, too.
McClure. Yeah, you got to give Cavaliers credit. They're continuing to play hard. They've got energy. They've got life. A lot of times when you fall down 26, you kind of just give up. They have never given up at any point in this game. There's a foul on Antonio Roberts. He got too much of Cameron Hughes as Hughes was retreating back towards the mid-court stripe. This is going to send Cameron Hughes to the free throw line for 2. Double bonus situation now for Altavista.
4th foul on Roberts. Want to send a shout-out to my friend Travis Kerr. Always listens to us. Good guy. You'd like him. Don't know that he'd like you, but you'd like him. First one up, and no good by Hughes.
I got to remember that line.
I'm
trying
kidding.
to use that line. 57-40. Colonels lead by 17. Here's a nice update for Colonel fans. Remember the Lady Colonels trailed by 2 at half, Bob? They're up 9 at the end of the third quarter down in Chatham.
You always talk about the boys having the strong third, but tonight the ladies taking that and just putting it in the printer before they left school, getting a copy of it.
And that is, again, a very good Lady Cavaliers squad.
Yep.
So,
and that was a rivalry, too, for a while.
That's always been a big rivalry. Cameron Hughes nearly got a steal. Yeah, that's a game that Deborah Spencer, she always talks about those 2 games and how Chatham kind of been their measuring stick for a long time.
Back iron to 3. And, I mean, when we've been talking about rivalries tonight, Altavista and Gretna obviously have always had a rivalry. Campbell County schools always have a rivalry, but I think we've been talking competitive rivalries. And Altavista, like I said, everybody is yo-yoed around the district, except Altavista's never really yo-yoed down that much, but everybody else is yo-yoed up with them at one point.
I would agree. Everybody's had their turn in the heavyweight division, so to speak, to knock it around and put the gloves on and slug with the big boys.
But the Lady Colonels and the Lady Cavaliers have really they battled year in, year out. I mean, I remember we had done several of those games.
Oh, yeah.
And those were always the 2 that came out of the Dogwood District as well. That is the 5th foul on Antonio Roberts.
2:36 left to play in the fourth quarter. 58-40, Colonels lead by 18. Jamal Thornhill can stretch the lead back to 20 with the free throws here. Traquan Farmer entering the basketball game. So is Cameron Pinnell. So is Jacob Adams.
Another shout-out. Normally I get these shout-outs started by taking a selfie of us and putting it on the old Facebook or the Twitter. I'm just being honest with our listeners. But our good friend Will Stafford over at WSET as well, Weekend Weatherman, said if things get hot, you guys are in a good position because there's a fire extinguisher right behind you.
We'll put out the fires if anybody tries to start them. Oh, that free throw spent a lot of time dangling up on the rim and then it finally dropped down into the hole for Jamal Thornhill. 59-40 makes the back end of the 2-shot. There's Shimon Barley. Kick out 3 coming for Stevie Johnson. No good. Side of the iron, rebounded by Traquan Farmer in the paint. Traquan looking for somewhere to go.
If you're the Cavs right now, what do you want to do offensively? I mean, it's 19 points with 2 minutes, so now it's getting into the stranger things that happen.
I like attacking the basket as quickly as possible. I mean, I think that's your best bet. There's a steal from Matt Galton. That works, too. Little defense into offense. Oh, and he finishes the lay-in, and there's a foul by Traquan Farmer. Farmer hit the deck rather hard. Galton, is going to walk over and check on him, make sure he's okay. Again, another nice display of sportsmanship. Farmer does hop up. He's fine.
A lot of good people at Chatham.
Sure,
a lot of good people.
A lot of good people everywhere we go.
A lot of good people have left Chatham, too.
That's another reason why Oscar and I, we love being at home in the friendly confines.
Right.
We love going on the road because you get to see some folks that you haven't seen in a while. You make some new friends while you're there as well. Matt Galton going to try and convert the old-fashioned three-point play.
There you go. There's another team for you. The all friends I made on the road team. As Galton misses, rebound stuck up and in. That's a big man.
Connor Barnett.
He jumped circle tonight, and I don't think we'd seen him since.
Barnett started the game and came out very quickly and has not been back in. Interesting rotation there by Charles Warren. What a lay-in by Jamal Thornhill. Slicing right through the middle of the defense like hot butter. Drops it in the basket. Pull-up three from Quali Witcher. Too strong. Nice rebound from Cameron Hughes. Hughes is going to run the fast break himself. Now he'll slow it down along near sideline and just take some air out of the basketball with 90 seconds left to play.
I'll tell you, I mean, you got to sometimes win that game of forcing the Thornhill house to eat, maybe. I mean, and Jamal's had a couple good ones in the house, Juan and his dad, Rodney.
Are dunks allowed? Because if dunks are allowed, I don't know how Juan will ever lose.
I don't.
See, dunks are allowed until you get to HO. Then you got to go straight jump shots and things like that. Cameron Pinnell, turnaround jump from the paint won't go. Got his own rebound. Sticks it back for another try. Didn't hit iron. Nice save in by Traquan Farmer along the baseline. Hughes with a crafty wraparound pass. He was looking for Cameron Pinnell, but off the hands, out of bounds. It's Chatham basketball with 60 seconds even to play and a 61-44 margin. Colonels are on top.
I have a feeling the way that dunk rule works is if Rodney can still dunk, everybody can still dunk. If Rodney can't dunk, nobody dunks.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Bob.
Something with the basketball. I think there was just some condensation on it. Whitey Witt will.
It knocked over one of the drinks on the cooler, and the water fell on it. Yeah, they'll rub it off.
What an eye by Ronnie, because Ronnie's the one that caught that.
You can, Ronnie Briles, our good friend and super fan who listens to us whenever he can't make it to the basketball game. 61-44, Colonel's on top. Stevie Johnson's going to set up a play on offense for Chatham. Crossover dribble, now pull up tray, won't fall. There's a rebound stuck back up and in by Quali Witcher, who really had to pop up high to get that through the Altavista defense, and he is fouled.
Well,
go to the free throw line.
And I don't think Chatham needs to have a night where all stars align to get some victories. I mean, this team is a very scrappy team. I think maybe the control, I think they play maybe faster than they think they can play sometimes. But I think this Chatham team is one to be reckoned with in their conference tournament as well.
A dangerous team. Charles Warren's team seems to be getting better. I know this margin of defeat is going to be a lot bigger than it was down at Chatham when they lost by 1 to Altavista. But
a winnable game, obviously.
Very, had 2 looks at the end in the last 10 seconds to win it. 61-46 is the second free throw canned by Quali Witcher. Colonel's probably just going to run out the clock. They may look to score here with 40 seconds left to play in the ball game. Make sure you stick around for the Subway postgame show. Bob and I will try and keep it on the rails, which is tough. Thornhill, hard to the basket, then hard to the floor as he is bodied up. Shot did hit the iron, but would not fall down, and Jamal Thornhill will take 2 free throws with 30.1 seconds remaining in our ball game. Bob, this has been a lot of fun. I think you and Oscar should do it Tuesday night. Boy, speaking of a team that probably remembers the last time they played Altavista, the Appomattox Raiders did not get the result they wanted against the Colonels in Appo. I have a feeling they're going to have some fire in their belly, and a very talented team. You talk about talent. I mean, the Appomattox Raiders have loads of them.
And who knows what they're going to be coming off of tonight. I mean, Dan River might not do them any favors if they hold on and get a victory in Ringgold. And a foul call with 23.5 to go.
63-46. It was Barley driving to the basket. Shot was blocked away by a pair of Colonels, and they whistled Cameron Hughes with the foul. His first personal foul, 8th one on the Colonels as a team. Altavista's going to win this ball game and improve to 13-3. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say, a lot of people will say, why is the referee calling a foul there? Because there's still 23.5 seconds left in the game. Just because it gets out of hand does not mean the officials have the luxury of stopping the call foul.
Right. Sometimes you can let the guys play a little bit, but you have to maintain the integrity of the game. The shot is sacred, at least in my opinion. Love decorum. Word doesn't get used enough. Our executive producer, Elizabeth Haney, and I were discussing that word earlier today.
Slow day at the office?
No, we just get into some of those discussions every now and then about, funny things like that. There's a technical foul on Stevie Johnson. It might be a double technical. He may have called one on the Altavista bench as well.
Yep. I think it's just a double foul.
Just a double foul. He made the technical gesture, though. Maybe he disregarded his own call and said, no, it's just a double foul. It's Chatham basketball. Going to go the full length of the court. Nobody's back here to inbound it for Chatham, though. I'm not sure they understand that it's their basketball. And perhaps the referees have not communicated that clearly enough. Yeah, now they point. Yes, Chatham basketball, 18.2 seconds left. If you watch this game long enough, Bob, you'll see everything.
I've got a few years on you. I feel like I've seen everything, but then you come out, well, from tight squeeze with the three, no good.
Barley was beyond NBA range. He was probably beyond Steph Curry range even. And the three-pointer wouldn't fall. Chatham had a couple extra looks at it. Chatham has tried some of those really, really long-distance threes, Bobs. And let me say, guys do it in the NBA. I know they do. I know Steph Curry makes them from 30 feet and beyond all the time. But he's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of a shooter. I'm not sure it's necessarily the highest percentage shot for the Cavaliers to be trying. But when you trail by this margin with 8 seconds left, why not try and jack one from just inside half court, right?
Sure. If you feel frog, you go for it. Farmer misses the first. My big question is Scooter Duff getting extra allowance tonight?
I would hope so. Speaking of guys that just drain putts relentlessly from everywhere and anywhere, Scooter Duff, very good golfer for the Altavista Colonels. Second one on the way from Farmer goes down.
Take him, yourself, Chris Long, and Scott Wilson out, and there's a tough foursome.
There's a tough foursome to beat, as long as those guys can take all the shots. Another long three-pointer from Quali Witcher won't go. Cameron Hughes rebounds it and just holds it and waits for the buzzer. It's an Altavista Colonel victory, 64-48. They moved to 13-3. Subway postgame show on the way when Bob and I come back, and you come back too, to 105.5 KD Country.
Start your business on a winning note with an Altavista revolving loan. It's an opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Connect with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis II at Altavista Town Hall. Make your move today. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoons, so you can buy anytime, any day, 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Back from Altavista High School, Colonels get the victory over the Chatham Cavaliers by the final margin of 64-48. Altavista with the W. I am Bob Alvis, joined by my esteemed colleague, the voice of the Colonels, Mr. Kyle Hayden.
Just getting the update on one of the former all-time great Altavista Colonels, Michi Malbeck. He is now enrolled at Liberty University. Great going, Michi. He might be listening right now. I don't see him in the audience, so he might be tuned in right now. And, gosh, that guy was a ball of fun to watch play. Pardon me. Brother Mateo, very similar. And Mateo Malbeck with a nice game tonight here, Bob. Colonels, let's recap it for the folks if we can. First 4 minutes of the first quarter, we thought we were going to see really a very good battle. You know, it was back and forth there for a little bit. Colonels took the lead at 6-5 and then just steadily pulled away. Poured on the gas in the second half. You know, the Cavaliers made some moves there. They tried to get back in it, and you certainly can't fault the effort from Coach Charles Warren's squad. But tonight, the Altavista Colonels, just too much. They get the victory over Chatham.
And it's a game of runs, and I think the runs is really kind of what buried the Cavaliers.
I would agree. Altavista went on longer runs, more sustained. Defense was stifling again. I was particularly impressed with the rebounding from Altavista. They worked hard on the glass. I love the way they work to get position, but if they can't get position, they don't just give up on it. They play smart. Sometimes they'll try and collapse you under the basket or just push you towards the baseline if they don't have position. And it's a very well-rounded, well-schooled squad that really sells out on defense and offense.
Well, and there were several plays, too, Kyle, that I thought where Chatham just kind of did not have strong side rebound or that strong side rebounding on those threes to where it made them easier rebounds for Altavista.
Yeah.
And a team like Altavista, you don't need to just give them a pass like that. At least make them earn the board.
Well, and when Bob's talking about the strong side, he's talking about the side that the shot is coming from. The weak side would be
weak
the other
side. What I meant, actually.
Oh, you meant weak side?
Okay. I apologize.
Okay, sure. Well, I think probably the biggest key in that, not to get too technical here. We need Ty Gafford if we really want to break down the X's and O's, but you just got to maintain that court balance. You got to maintain the structure of your own offense to where you've got rebounders on all sides. I mean, you've only got 5 guys. You're not going to be able to completely surround the thing, but to have that court balance is really nice, especially when you're talking about rebounding. Let's let Bob and I talk a little bit more here as the Subway post-game show train rolls on. And, yes, it was Flat Tees of Friday. I forgot to ask our sound engineers what they had, so we'll find out that during the break and report back to you. Is the Altavista Colonels with a big victory tonight over the Chatham Cavaliers? You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today, 309-2266, 309-2266, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Hey guys, this is Terrell Salmon with Best Bet Motor Sales, home of your 60-second guaranteed credit approval. We have 2 locations to serve you. Our first location is 29 South, 5 minutes past the airport, and location number 2 is 29 North, right in Amherst. We have over 75 clean, low-mileage, late-model, pre-owned vehicles for you to choose from, low down payments, low monthly payments, and warranty on all vehicles. So don't forget, guaranteed credit approval, Best Bet Motor Sales.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellas Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellas Chevrolet in Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we're not in the press box, Mr. Announcer Guy. We're courtside here at Altavista. A nice view. Bob, I believe you said you and Agent Zero will take back the press box.
We will be in the
press
box, yes, sir.
It's good to mix it up, though. I like being down here. And Colonels seem to like being at home. They've been very good at home this year. Troy Harris wants to come over for an interview. Yes, we want Troy Harris on board right now. Let's talk the... Yes, you can do the pregame interview next week. Bob Alva's having a little fun, and Coach Harris is going to stop by. So gracious, and this is one of the benefits, Bobby, to being courtside, as we can get Coach Harris in here post-game. And, Coach, let me ask you about some of the, as JV coach for the Chatham Cavaliers, Daniel Rogers, stops by, one of the old guys you used to match wits with on the junior varsity level, and one of the all-time nice guys, too. Back to the Colonels varsity game. As we're getting We're getting burned here by some of the guys who are taking pictures.
And
then Bob Alvis, too. Somehow I'm going to find a way to ask you a question here. You took some timeouts there in the second half when they were cutting into your lead. What was the message to your guys there? And it was maybe 2 or 3 of them that you took.
Yeah, well, we got up big. I think we were up 25, and we had them on the ropes, and then started subbing some guys in, and it just got sloppy on us, and that's all I preach the past couple practices. Chatham likes to play sloppy, and we can't play into our game, and we played so well in the first half and then most of the third quarter, and then to let them get back in it a little bit by playing sloppy, it's just not what we wanted to do, so call a timeout, slow us down a little bit.
Who were some guys that stood out to you tonight from an individual perspective?
Mateo really stepped up defensively. Offensively, I'm blanking on numbers. I don't really know. I hadn't had a chance to look yet, but our defense really stepped up. Josh McClure always does a good job in the post, and Mateo's defense on a point guard, keeping them out the lane and making them pass it, really messes him up offensively if they can't get in the lane.
Good way to respond after the long layoff, and then, of course, last time you played a game, it was the defeat against Dan River. You like to bounce back tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I think we responded pretty well. I think we had forgotten about the Dan River game, honestly. We're so carefree and loose, it seems like. Borderline goofy sometimes, but we keep it in check. But we're so, loosey-goosey that we've forgotten about Dan River. We don't even remember that game, hopefully.
Well, that's a great thing. Let me ask you about the next game coming up. Not to take away from this one. I know you like to soak in every victory.
Absolutely.
But how soon does your mind move to Appomattox? Immediately, starting tomorrow morning, or even tonight?
That was the message right at the end. Great win. We played defense great tonight. And I was like, do you know who we play next? And nobody knew. And I was like, Appomattox, and they blew William Campbell out the other night, beat them by 30, I think. So I think they're starting to figure stuff out, and they're one of the best teams I've seen. They just hadn't been playing that way. So definitely, that was the message to end it. Is Appomattox is going to come in here hungry.
Yeah, Appomattox, a lot of talent. Colonels have a lot of talent too. Coach Harris, great job, 13th win of the season. Thanks for stopping by. We'll let Bob get back on the airwaves here right after this on the Subway post-game show on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29 Altavista.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services wishes Coach Harris and the Altavista basketball team a safe and successful season. Go Colonels!
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Hello, this is Jerry Motley from 1433 Altavista Moose Center. Asking everybody to come on down and join us and see what the Moose is all about to help us support our Moose Heart, Moose Haven family. Anybody's welcome to come down and take a tour of our building and see what's going on. Come on down and we'll let you in and we can have some fun. We're looking forward.
Meet Jerry and the rest of the Altavista Moose family and become a member. The Altavista Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show return. Everybody likes to stop by. It is a blessing and a curse, though, when you're on the floor here, Bob, because sometimes you can get distracted talking to people. We saw our old buddy and talk about one of the all-time greats, Cordero Word. Duke came by earlier, former Region B Player of the Year. You remember Region B, don't you, Bob?
Might come back.
It might come back. Yeah, I hope it does come back. He came by. Daniel Rogers came by. Troy Harris came by. Deja comes by. The fantastic, wonderful, beautiful, and talented scorekeeper for the Altavista Colonels this year. She's offering you this fine
I might want to look at
Bob
that. Thank you.
maybe check his records. Now, I should point out, Bob normally keeps meticulous statistical records. But even he has an off night, and it's nice when teamwork comes in. You know, teamwork makes the dream work, Bob, and I say that over at Subway all the time. We got the report. Let's see. It was roast beef for Rachel.
Yep. Roast beef Rachel is now her nickname.
Roast beef Rachel. What did Eleanor have?
Eleanor had turkey.
Eleanor went with the turkey. I just want to point out, Eleanor, and everybody at home, it's Turkey Tuesday, Flateza Friday. Today is a Friday, January 29th. So why didn't we go with the Flateza there? We went over this at one point, right? You guys got the memo.
I'm not part of this team.
Okay.
So,
coffee is for closers only.
Let me inform people real quick. In Ringgold, it was 45-42 after 3 quarters with Dan River. 2:25 left in the game. Dan River. Go ahead.
No, I want you to go ahead.
Dan River now up 66-47.
Wow, so they really pulled away.
I don't know what Kenny Murphy said in between quarters 3 and 4, but the Wildcats definitely getting it going in the fourth, and big thanks to my friend Jerry Eccles.
And
did you meet him in Ringgold?
I believe I've met Jerry before. Okay. And let me point out and reiterate for some folks that didn't hear earlier, that's against the Appomattox Raiders, who we will see Tuesday taking on the Altavista Colonels. It was a big third quarter for the Lady Colonels down in Chatham. Remember, they trailed by 2 at half. They were up by 9 to start the fourth quarter. With under 2 to play, the Lady Colonels are up 8. So it sounds like if they can hold on, they're going to get a nice win on the road in tight squeeze. That would be their 8th win in a row, as I've mentioned. And now, Bob, it feels like you're confident enough to deliver the post-game statistics in this 64-48 victory for the Altavista Colonels.
I am. Post-game statistics, Subway, post-game show, Super Bowl coming up. I'm sure Robert would love to cater to the Super Bowl party. He just needs to know. So give that call, and you can take care of that. Subway with great locations all over. For Chatham, Nyshawn Red had 15. Barley with 12. 8 points from Stevie Johnson. 3 points from, it was actually Tyler Cook. So somebody's penmanship wasn't on point tonight. That would be me. Gauden with 4. Roberts, Witcher, and Barnett all with 2. For Altavista, 3 guys in doubles. Lawrence Galliard led everybody with 14. From the Colonels, I should say. Nelson Deuce had 13. Josh McClure with 11. 9 from Jamal Thornhill. 6 from Daquan Poindexter. 4 from Mormon and Malbeck. And a free throw apiece from Adams, Farmer, and Hughes. So just off quick math, 10 Colonels in the books tonight.
Good stuff there.
And 8 Cavaliers. 18 players scored tonight. We never really count that, but I've got to think that is right around our peak.
Yeah, that's good balanced scoring there, and I think sometimes you have a game where only 4 or 5 guys score. I mean, believe it or not, we've seen a game this year where I believe only 4 Colonels got in the scorebook. It might have been that first game against Brookville. Bob, we got to hold the presses, though, because I've got some great news. One in the form of a very good shout-out to a brother that you and I both know and love. When you can get Robert Googe, Super Googe, Robert Gage, tuned in to your broadcast, you have reached the pinnacle in your professional career. Don't you remember when Super Googe would give it the kick and he would just will those bowling pins down?
That pin would be sitting up and Googe would give it the kick and there it would go down.
10 pin never stood a chance. We should have called him the human buzzsaw because he just tore right through those pins. And let me tell you something else.
Yeah, I got something to tell you too. But
I want you to, not to get on a tangent, but Robert Gage, Googe, whichever pronunciation you prefer, he doesn't care.
Where you're from.
That's right, he doesn't care. One of the all-time great athletes in general, fantastic on the racquetball court, and this man is as a fisherman, top of the line, I think. Kevin Van Dam, Gary Yamamoto, Bill Dance, those professional guys have
David
nothing.
Dudley. Is he actually from Lynchburg?
Good point. David Dudley. I put Robert right up there with all those guys. Lady Colonels win, by the way, in another bit of news, 43-37. A nice upset win, we'll call it, on the road. But I don't know. When you've won 8 in a row, I'm not sure it's really an upset. Great win for the Lady Colonels. Deborah Spencer and her squad just continue to roll on. What you got for me? You got a bit of news or a shout-out?
I was just going to say my friend Lauren Compton in the 757 tonight listening to us, checking us out on the kdcountry.com website. But I was going to say earlier, you know, those people that go down to Chatham,
yes,
they can actually hear it on the TuneIn app as well. All you got to do is go to your favorite app store, search TuneIn. You can get a lot of great stuff there no matter what you are, but the first stop you should make is KD Country.
And, Bob, before we get to the Radio Shack players of the game, let me remind everyone, if you are listening online, it's the streaming online audio brought to you by Chad Rakos, your Allstate agent in Windhurst. Basketball fans, always in good hands with Chad. And you folks in the 757 or out of town, don't be afraid to call and get a quote from Chad Rakos and his associates there at Allstate. They might be able to save you a little bit of money. You don't have to be in Lynchburg. And at least call them up and say, hey, thanks, we appreciate you sponsoring it. Bobby, Radio Shack Player of the Game time now. Brought to you by Radio Shack, Main Street in Lynchburg.
We didn't even touch on the JVs tonight.
JV's got a nice win to Michael Lee and his squad, and that was a good Chatham JV team that beat Altavista pretty handedly down in tight squeeze. So nice bounce-back win for those guys as well. All-around good night for the Colonels.
Players of the game, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? I'm generous tonight, so I'm going to go first. And I'm going to take the Chatham Cavaliers. I think you got to like what Nyshawn Red did. 15 points tonight, saddled with 4 fouls for a little bit in the second half, but Nyshawn Red gets my player of the game.
Nyshawn Red has a nice game. I will double those sentiments. I really enjoyed watching Nyshawn Red play. This is a good Chatham team. Not as good as the record indicates, for sure.
It's hard on the other side.
It's real hard.
It's real hard. And I say this with all due respect. I don't think anybody stood out tonight. It was a great team effort with the team victory. I don't think anybody just popped out at us.
Yeah.
I'm using that to stall, by the way, as well. Dan River, by the way, gets the win over Appomattox 73-54 in Ringgold. Again, stalling.
But a nice little news nugget there.
I'm going to go Jamal Thornhill. He had 9 points. I thought he gave him some energy. He gave him a different look. I'm going to go with Jamal.
You know, that's a guy that I hadn't really thought about. I think I might double up on that. He made a nice play to take it away from Buzetta in the lane. He had some nice finishes in transition. He walks right by us. That's not exactly why we're picking him, but it doesn't hurt either, right, when the guy's in earshot. But, no, I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to say Jamal Thornhill in an underrated effort, a gutty effort off the bench, logged quite a few minutes tonight. He's been playing more and more since he came back here in the second semester. I'm going to agree with you. I go Jamal Thornhill there.
And, of course, I always give a player of the game honorable mention to Eleanor and Roast Beef Rachel.
Well, not honorable mention. I mean, Rachel from Florida is what we called her
No,
last
it's Roast Beef
time.
Rachel.
I know.
And Tuesday it'll be something different if she's there.
Yep.
So.
Not Rachel from
But
yep.
Those are my real MVPs.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it without our starting lineup. These folks bring you the broadcast. Zaxby's, Wards Ferry Road in Lynchburg. Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. English is your complete home center, now offering a complete line of Carhartt clothing for men. El Cazador, be sure to try the new menu, Main Street in Altavista. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. KCD Maintenance, Ken can do it maintenance, call 665-1333. It's 3 3s, Bob. English Construction is waiting for some kind of a response. Bob didn't oblige me. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The Altavista Office of Economic Development, helping Altavista grow. Shout out to our buddy Dennis Jarvis, who likes to tune in when he can't make it to the games. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction service. Best Bet Motors, respected name you can trust, Route 29 just south of the airport. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. The Moose Family Center, bringing communities closer together and celebrating life via Moose. Can I mention again your streaming online audio brought to you by Chad Rakos, your all-state agent in Windhurst. And this is the Subway postgame show. You can make any sub a deluxe for just 50 cents more. That's 50% more meat for 50 cents at any Altavista area Subway. And as Bob mentioned, and I will echo his sentiments, what a pleasure it would be to have Subway cater your Super Bowl party. You're going to get a lot of fans when you do that. Get Subway to cater your office meeting. You'll get the promotion by the end of the lunch, I feel like. Bobby, let's wrap it up and ride off into the sunset. Colonels get the win, 64-48. They're back in action Tuesday night when the Appomattox Raiders come to town. Subway pregame show starts at 6:45. It'll be Bobby and Oscar. Hope you'll stop by and join the party on 105.5 KD Country.